I can't wait to get my copy of Transformers Prime on Blu-ray from Santa. I don't care what that fuckhead YouTuber PaperPlane thinks. Now to take this to the mail. Oh my god. Oh my god. Santa? Oh my god. Can't believe I'm finally back to me. What the fuck?
Holy shit.
Famous YouTuber PaperPlane? Why are you on my roof? How the fuck did you do that? What are you doing? Oh shit!
Come in.
Oh fuck! Oh shit! No, 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 no!
I don't know if any of you noticed, but I made a video a while back where I talked about a show called Transformers Prime. And just in case you didn't see it, which if you didn't then like, why are you watching this? My main point was that Transformers Prime, while not a bad show, did have quite a lot of problems that people seem to just kind of ignore. I mean, if you like it, I'm not gonna have a go at you or nothing. I didn't kill this guy because he liked Prime, I killed him because he stole my copy of Age of Extinction on DVD. Oh, there we go. It got a bit of attention, I guess, especially after a certain someone mentioned it. The Prime review was the first time I ever attempted anything like that. And for a first go at it, it came out alright, I guess. I do have problems with it though. For example, right at the start, where I say it sucks. I feel that gave a lot of people bad vibes or something, because just look at this dislike bar, man, damn. I haven't done anything this divisive since I started using sodium chloride as a punishment for misbehaving children. There's also the fact that at the end my mouth sounds as wet as Michael Bay on a movie set. Like I said, if you love it, you don't have to stop because I told you to. Stop. No. So why am I making this video? Do I have more to say about Prime? Well, kind of. A lot can change in a year, one of those being a person's outlooks and opinions. That being said, have my opinions towards Prime changed in the last year? Let's find out, together, as a team, like friends. I'm also making this as an attempt at a rebuttal to some of the comments, because while some people did make some fairly valid criticisms against my video, other people just seem to either miss my point or not really understand where I'm coming from. We're going to be starting off by looking at the biggest problem I have with my Prime review, the opinion that changed the most, and that is Robots in Disguise is a really strange show. My opinion on it has definitely changed since the Prime review. It's gone from being a bit better than Prime to about the same, really. I feel that Robots in Disguise and Prime have the same amount of different problems, if that even makes sense. While my biggest problem with Prime was its ability to consistently lose all of its potential with the grace of a very large gazelle, my biggest problem with Robots in Disguise is that it kind of doesn't know what it wants to be. Prime wanted to be a slightly more serious take on the Transformers formula intended for older kids, maybe even teens. Robots in Disguise, on the surface, appears to be a light-hearted kids show in the same vein as G1 or Animated, but then slowly as it goes on, it just becomes something tonally weird. Okay, I phrased that really weird. It keeps this tone throughout, and that's not the problem. The problem is that whenever it tries to do anything even remotely serious, it's jarring. I mean, Animated. Animated had a lot of silly moments and a lot of real shit going down, but what made it work in Animated was how it eased you into it. If we had that one episode where the Dinobots rocked up, and then the next one was Blur getting crushed to death, that would be odd. This is like writing 101. If you're gonna have a serious moment like this, it's gotta be earned, or at the very least have a point. And in Animated, the scene of Blur getting crushed to death is earned and it has a point. Not only does his death cement Shockwave as a threatening villain, it also contributes in part to Bumblebee's character arc. Bumblebee is the reason that this guy is in a position of power, and this scene allows us, the audience, to sympathise with Bumblebee because we see the consequences of his colossal fuck up. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, Robots in Disguise. I'd say Season 1 keeps a fairly consistent tone throughout, you know, light-hearted nonsense, whatever. Season 2 keeps this tone, but then every now and again it has scenes that are meant to make you go, oh whoa, look at how dark we can get. For example, You got this scene where the main plot is your generic goofy action stuff, so they're fighting Soundwave or whatever. But the subplot is Troy Baker's character, who I call him Wolf Job. I just forgot what he was called, I just started calling him Wolf Job. Wolf Job having to prove himself to the villains, so they make him kill a guy right on the spot. And you probably have to see the episode to understand where I'm coming from. It's such a tonal shift, not just from the episode, but from the series. It's really odd. Season 2 is a whole bunch of these. I would go into more detail, but I've already cut out 3 pages worth of Robots in Disguise talk, so whatever. Does Robots in Disguise have any of the same problems as Prime? Yeah, it does, a few. I'm going to tell you one. For example, the missed opportunities the show presents. Now, I said the word potential a lot in my Prime review, and you're all probably sick of hearing me say this, but the amount of missed opportunities and potential in Robots in Disguise is just baffling to me. For example, the character of Optimus Prime. Optimus comes back to life at the end of Series 1. Side note, that really shouldn't have happened. He comes back and he's weak, he's old, he's struggling in battle and he can barely hold his own in a fight. Now in my mind, I'm thinking, oh wow, looky here, they're doing a meta statement about how Optimus Prime as a character and an idea is getting old. I can't wait to see how this unfolds in the season, and then it just doesn't. It's resolved like 3 episodes later. Now you could blame me for that. Maybe I was just getting ahead of myself, but Jesus Christ, they were setting this shit up. I'm not crazy. I'm about 90% convinced they were laying the groundwork for this. Wait, look there, you see that? At the bottom of my garden. I think I see Jeff Klein at the bottom of my garden. He's spying on me, he's figuring out how to anger me. I could go on about Robots in Disguise, but maybe another time. Oh my god, that was just 1 point. I've lost track of what this video is. Hang on. Prime. Oh yeah, okay, Prime. Let's get on to the next point before I gotta call my doctor again. I made a lot of comparisons to Transformers Animated in that video, and a few people claim that this is because I'm biased towards it. The only reason I started comparing Prime to Animated was because Animated was an example of this exact same formula done right. Remember when I started comparing the ending of Return of the Jedi to Prime's ending? Well, I guess that means I'm biased towards Return of the Jedi, even though I think Return of the Jedi is the lesser of the 3 films. I guess I'm biased towards it. I mean, I don't know what more I can say. Maybe I am a bit biased towards Animated, but when I was writing the Prime review, Animated was just the first thing that came to mind to use as an example of what I was talking about. I don't know how to end this section. I've got to reach the 10-minute mark. I've got to get that ad revenue. I've seen your vid, and it fails to mention the good things they did. There are good points in vid, and Prime has flaws, but it should be looked at with perspective. In 30 years, only 2 other shows are around its quality. Good review. Not. You literally appreciate nothing about the show. So, except for that section at the start where I talked about everything I like about Prime, my review was nothing but blind hate where I nitpicked minor things in Prime like the plot and the characters. Because, as we all know, these all don't matter in the grand scheme of things. Nah, but seriously though, people seem to have this misconception that I hate Prime. And while my review was pretty negative, I don't dislike the show. I dislike certain aspects, sure, but overall it's like, okay. In fact, if I were to rank the shows, it would probably come somewhere in the top 7, maybe even the top 5. This is because there are some things I genuinely love about this show. I can see why people get really invested and excited about it.
Oh, you mean this? Finders keepers. You fucker! You bitch! You! Fucking bitch! Fuck you!
The things that bother me in Prime may not bother another person, and that's fine. Anyway, let's go through what I love about Prime right now. Knockout is the best thing to come out of this show by far. Every single scene he's in is immediately elevated due to his presence, and despite his ending being a bit like, what? I can't help but love this guy. He's such a bastard and he knows it. He revels in the joy of being a complete bellend, and soon enough you find yourself kind of rooting for him. He's a simple man with simple goals that you just really want to see him fulfill. His chemistry with Starscream and the back and forth banter they have results in some of my favourite scenes in the show.
But you haven't fully recuperated.
I feel fine, Knockout. Never better. You're a brilliant physician. Now get out of my way.
At first, Knockout doesn't really take Starscream seriously, and Starscream doesn't really like him. Then they help each other out, save each other's asses a few times, and eventually they grow to have a mutual respect for each other. until it's all undone in the movie. Also, he's voiced by Timmy Turner's dad, which I somehow didn't notice until I finished the show. Steve Blum is the best voice of Starscream. It's not even opinion, it's fact. You are not a human being if you disagree, and you smell. Steve Blum takes this mixed bag of a character and makes him truly wonderful. Even if his character is a bit inconsistent, Steve Blum really sells you on it. When you see him in interviews and at conventions or whatever, he seems to be having such a fun time playing this role. He really starts to become this character.
French fries. Making the curly ones. I love the curly ones.
Harder, Daddy Blum. I mean, what? Sometimes when the series does a flashback, it will use these gorgeous paintings to visualize them. Whenever one of these happened, I immediately became 200 times more invested in what was going on, just because it looked cool. Look, I'm a simple man. I work in very simple ways, okay? Okay, so I'm going to go through the list of episodes in Prime that I really enjoyed. Starting with my favourite and then the rest in no particular order. First up we got First. First is just so much fun start to finish. The only problem I have with it is when it tries to resolve the whole arachnid plot out of nowhere and it makes you go like, oh, they're doing this now. But other than that, this episode is 20 minutes of Starscream and Knockout trying to stop a zombie uprising they've inadvertently created. It moves at a fun pace, it's funny, and it really makes me wish that we had more episodes of Decepticon shenanigans. Darkness Rising parts 1 through 5. First 5 episodes of this show are pretty good and made me legitimately excited to watch the rest of the series. I like the plot, I like how we're introduced to the world and its characters, I think there are some cool scenes, and overall I think it's a fairly solid start to the series. Nemesis Prime. Again, it's just fun. I like the whole mystery about what Nemesis Prime is until it becomes super obvious about 6 minutes in. I don't really have much to say about this one, I just enjoy it a lot. What do you want, a 2-hour video on this episode? What do you want from me? Sick Mind. I felt more could have been done with the concept of Bumblebee going into Megatron's brain, but I was still happy with what we got. We've got two polar opposites here, with one trying to convince the other to give him a cure to a disease his friend has. And you know what, it's legitimately intense at times. It's also probably the only time I've really cared about Bumblebee at all during the series. And we've got a whole side plot of Knockout and Starscream trying to kill Megatron in his sleep, so that's fun. There are a bunch more, and I don't want this video to be so long, so I'm going to list them off. Armada, Convoy, Rock Bottom, Dark Mount Nevada, Darkest Hour, and Orion Pax Part 1. Not Part 2 and 3, just Part 1. Every time I hear this damn theme song, it's like having Cheerios poured down your throat. I love Cheerios a lot, okay? Cheerios make me a Cheerio. Anyway, the theme really is quite wonderful. I'm not too familiar with Brian Tyler's other works except Age of Ultron, which had a very, very boring soundtrack. So I don't know if it would be a stretch to say it's the best thing he's ever made, even though it probably is. The way it swells to the crescendo is probably my favourite part, and oh my god, it just gets me every time. It's so fucking cool, man. Now, of course, all these things don't elevate the show to a higher level of being for me, but I just wanted to demonstrate that despite all the criticisms I fired towards the show, I really don't dislike it that much. It just has a lot of problems. Except Predacons Rising. I really don't like that film. Oh, and hey, speaking of a lot of problems, I got some great comments. I got quite a lot claiming I didn't watch the show or don't know the lore, like this one from the Queen Jess, who says, also it seems like you think that because it's dark, it's bad. Yes, it's about transforming robots, but it's also about a war, so why wouldn't it be dark? It should be a serious, but I guess this can be subjective too. Whether or not you like a lighter or darker tone depends on the person, but it's not like Prime has no comedic moments, there are plenty of them. 3 of her 8 points were just her saying that's just your opinion. But she also brings up the fact that I hate the show because it's dark, which is not what I meant at all. My problem with its tone was the fact that it pulled so much ridiculous nonsense while also demanding to be taken seriously. If it had a dark tone and balanced it out with a sense of self-awareness or humour, it would have worked. I don't mind shows with a dark tone, I only mind it when it's done poorly. I hate the show cause footfalls. Again, I feel my point has been overlooked. Sound design is important. You may think it's just second sound, shut the fuck up. But really, sound is what makes or breaks a movie or show. You may not realize it, but it's true. It's fucking true, man. Sound can tell us so much about a character, the world, or evoke emotions in us. And in my opinion, Transformers Prime has some weak sound design. It's not the worst, it's passable. Wanna know why? I talked about it in a video, you know, the Prime. I did get quite a lot of hateful comments though, such as this man who told me to go fuck myself, this guy who said there is nothing wrong with Prime, this guy who pulled a complete 180 after people started having a go at him, and this guy who wrote the best comment I've ever seen. I'm not going to read it out, just pause it, have a look at it. This is probably my favourite comment though, from a user named Dusk Angels, who said, "This kid sounds like a retarded faggot. Transformers Prime was the best Transformers series out there. It was perhaps too smart for him and made for those with a brain." Like, come on, for real. Are you being serious? On this channel, I've uploaded 48 videos. Out of these 48, there are only 2 that I'm legitimately proud of. The Every Transformation from G1 video, because it took me a fucking year and a half. Okay, that took me so long. And the Prime review. Now, I'm not saying I dislike the rest of my videos, it's just there are some I feel much better about than others. And there are some that I detest. Like I said, the Prime review was my first real attempt at that style of video. While I feel it came out pretty fine, there is a lot of things I could have done much better. The whole point of this video was to take a look at the Prime review and see how I can improve or build upon it. Not necessarily to make a part 2 to the review, but for future videos like it. Also, it was kind of made just because it's entertainment and entertaining. The Prime review, if anything, was a learning experience, one that I enjoyed making, and one that a lot of you seem to enjoy too. I guess the point I'm trying to make is, it's only cartoon. Why you have to be mad? I've got a feeling this whole video was just the ramblings of some degenerate with an opinion on the internet who doesn't really know what he's talking about, but whatever. Hey, did you see that teaser for the next Transformers show, Cyberverse? It could really suck, could be great, we'll just have to see. What else is going on? Titans Return came out. I think it's worse than Combiner Wars just because Combiner Wars was so bad it's funny, and this is just painful. I did a video with Dr. Lockdown and we played Cards Against Humanity with TF Fan Page 101 and some friendos. So you watch that. I called my doctor, but I think he's been arrested.